again with more Tuesday tips for leaders of volunteers. And today, right before the new year, I'm talking about my top 3 trends that I think are really going to increase in 2022 for volunteer engagement and volunteerism in general. Now, my number 1 trend is kind of continuing from the last few years of a focus on diversity, equity, inclusion, access, and justice. I think in 2022 there's going to be even more emphasis on accommodations, ability, and accessibility for not only remote work, coming back safely in person, but all kinds of our volunteer activities as well. And I think this was especially illustrated in a really funny but bringing up a serious topic way with the recent meme about the cats Jean and Jorts and human Pam kind of trying to put too many accommodations onto a disabled, in this case, cat. And you can look up the Jean and Jorts meme. I'll put a link to an article that explains it. But that really actually caught fire on disability Twitter, the Jean and Jorts meme, and also just bringing in the conversation about accommodations for all of our team members, and particularly accessibility. I think this is going to be especially important going into 2022 because of long COVID, and that we've had a couple of years of a mass death and grief and, quite frankly, disabling events. So there's going to be more and more of our team members, and hopefully not you personally affected by these long-term effects of the pandemic, and having work impacted in that way. So having more ideas and new technologies and using some of the classics of understanding ability, best fit, and accessibility and accommodations, I think that's the number 1 trend in 2022. I think the second thing, and these are all kind of related, is going to be building even more remote and resilient relationships. So we've gotten better at using remote technology, working remotely. I've had other Tuesday tips and even full priceless advice conversations about our worldwide and local networks and support systems. But I think everything that we've been dealing with the last couple of years and then going into 2022, resiliency is going to be very, very important. So having these connections, these professional connections, these networks, and resiliency in your local community for the work you're doing with your agency, building that relationship, more relationship building, remote relationship building is going to be more important than ever. And I have a really actually positive example of a dear friend and colleague who had decided to do a job change in the middle of 2021, and thanks to the support of her network, including me and many other friends and colleagues, she was really successful and really kind of leveled up in her career. And I'll have more details on that in another conversation coming up. My third trend for 2022 is also connected, and that's the building of new technologies into learning networks. So literally having volunteer management software systems and other CRMs and database able to work with more compatibility together, agencies creating a culture of open information and resource sharing, and really getting into, again, this kind of resilient and diverse network of support locally and around the world that can help all of us learn from each other. And one of my favorite phrases comes from my dear friend Craig Young, and I've mentioned this before, which is when you're thinking about learning networks and sharing information, you want to have new ideas that are shared seamlessly, and then also steal shamelessly with information and program models from each other. So those are my top 3 trends for 2022, and I'll dig a little bit deeper into each topic with specific Tuesday tips as we move forward into the new year. See you later.